the audio's good. Again. Manuscript. Mondays. That we've been doing for the last few weeks. Sorry, that's been a bit loud, but you know, as we've been doing the last few weeks, we're back for another one. But I am having issues and trouble with my headphones at the very least that I don't like. And it could be me. Oh, what happened here? Oh shoot! Already it's acting up. Give me 1 second. Oh, there you go. Rob is back, man. So let me hit the intermission. We could get into that in a little bit because that's like
Got
a
you.
big
Abortion
news.
laws.
Yeah, that's a
But
big news. Something that I thought to talk about. Today, I know we said we would get into a couple things to discuss. We have, well, of course, the Diddy trials that is
oh, for sure.
underway.
And our special guest, Carmelo Anthony. Imagine that. Imagine. We got a New
um,
York Knick with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Now we want to
that's
just give love to the Knicks.
that's the good news, man. That's the good news. But yeah, man, you all settled in. Just want to see if we can, cause I got you up on the screen now on the
You want to see my
YouTube.
face?
No, no, it's fine if you like how it looks that way. I would just, if there's a, encourage you to see what it looks like on the YouTube side of things. Make sure you're okay with it. If not, I could just change things up.
Oh, I can see the screen though. I'm good. Yeah, I can see. Um, and do I sound fine?
Just a little loud. I don't know how the volume could go a little loud. It's just your voice is piercing and intense. You know.
Damn.
Yeah. So I don't know if that like
Damn, and I took off the.
um
Let me
maybe
see. Oh, hold on. This might.
yeah. I'm trying to find out why my headphones also like why they sound like that. That's not a good sound that I'm getting.
Hello.
Yeah.
Did that improve?
Yeah, it sounds better now.
All right, all right.
You said you could hear me, right? So,
Oh, for sure.
all
And I
right.
can see the screen and all that. Yeah.
All
Shout out to shout out to Dr. Dre B Studio Pro.
right.
Gotta get some sponsors, man.
Well, we gotta show those. I got the audio tech, the classics.
Yeah, audio
Um,
tech.
uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, man. Let me see, cause this is um the feeling wheel that I was gonna pull up, man. Check this out. I think I could show you this one. Um, let me see it now.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. I ain't
I
even
was
mad
trying to
at that.
simplify
I like
stuff,
that.
and I'm like, how can I simplify how I feel? And
I really like
there's a
that.
simple feeling chart right there to look at to kind of pick a feeling. So um yeah. So do you have one?
I'll be more like, damn, I don't, it's interesting. It's interesting that it's not really up there, but I'm either like a mix. I'm like a hybrid of annoyed and scared, but I
Mm.
don't feel scared. But I just like the word would have been guarded. But It's so the irony of that is what I told you that the guy I had that encounter I had when it
Mm-hmm.
was the word scary, you know, is that well now I'm just interesting. Like maybe that is a if you don't feel safe, are you scared? And men won't really have the you know what I'm saying? Men don't I don't want to say men, but some people just don't have that in their mind to be like, oh, I guess I am scared.
Mm-hmm.
That you know what I'm saying? I'll just be overprotective of myself. So it's like maybe that is yeah, that's a form of being scared, right? No, 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 I'm not scared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
man.
it's weird, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. All right, so you would say you're in the mix of annoyed and scared. I would just go with sick, I guess, to simplify it, because I guess even the character itself, that's, I was mentioning at the start of this how I was been a bit under the weather.
Yeah.
So between that and excited, I think there's some things to look forward to as well. I try not to let my sick feelings get me down and get me in a bad place where I start negatively going down a like rabbit hole of like, oh my god, I'm sick, I'm not doing nothing today, I'm resting all day. It's not a quote unquote productive day, so I try to fight those thoughts. Um,
Right.
yeah, so then I focus on what is coming up and what's going well, and so there's some things to look forward to this week that has me excited. So I'm holding on to that and hoping that I obviously feel a little bit better. That I wake up tomorrow in a better space. So
Yeah, well day one though, you know, so I was not feeling well the other day and 2 days ago and someone had told me that the body will let you know, when you need rest.
for sure, and just
So I
taking the
really
and
like that.
taking the rest, right, and to making sure to take the rest. So
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it also the mix of pollen. I think I've gone on here already last week talking about how pollen kicks my behind, and so still the same thing. So that's also not helping. Um,
Yeah, no love to pollen. I mean, except for, fuck it, for the bees.
yeah, but yeah, man, I want to just give you a heads up that I named this kind of like as a title, Celebrity Trials, Hot New York City. I was gonna put Summer, but I ran out of title space. So I just put Hot NYC and then Handmade Tale type beat.
Oh,
So that's because of the story that I'm gonna share with you that you were reading first, but then I took it off as well. So yeah,
okay, okay, okay.
and you already started getting into it with your experience recently in the train, so we could start there, man. I thought to talk about like the upcoming summer. I mean, sheesh, we're already in May. The
Hmm.
summer's coming up, and usually what that means is New York City is that people are outside, and when people are
Right.
outside, notoriously, in New York City especially, things happen. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things that happen in the city. Um, quote unquote crazy things. I mean, if you're on social media now and you follow certain pages, you could. It seems like New York something new is happening every day. I mean,
Hmm.
did you see the story of the Brooklyn Bridge with the big boat?
Oh my gosh,
You
yeah. And I
know,
was just like, why did it have to, out of all the flags, like, do we need a more negative attention on Mexicans? Like, I feel like people are so mean to like Mexicans and shit like that. And then I had a big ass Mexican flag crashing into the Brooklyn Bridge. I was like, oh, that sucks.
yeah. I was like, you couldn't just. I was like, the timing of things, man. It's like it's terrible because yeah,
That sucks.
but it adds to like just the already the intensity of news that you kind of get, and I'm sure New York City is not exclusive to this. I'm pretty sure I'm sure
The
other
places have
friends, other
tragedies,
places,
right?
yeah, not tragedies, but like that just as as the summer comes around in their city, like things get intense and more wild and sometimes scary things do happen.
Yeah,
Um,
wild nose, yeah,
I
for
was
sure,
trying
for
to see if
sure.
I find it here,
But yeah,
but
no, I
yeah,
saw that thing, man.
well,
That was wild too. That's something I didn't even,
mm,
that's recent. That's like a few hours. I wasn't even gonna think of talking about that. So love, man, and my condolences to those two people I saw, man. It's whack. You could see two people flying off, and I found out that I believe they passed away.
mhm,
I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
damn. I
It
was
was two
hoping
people.
that maybe they did it, maybe they landed in the water or some shit, but no. So that sucks because yeah, I just saw that video today too. So I saw the other videos, and then today I saw one where it was like these kids were recording it and kind of giggling and shit. Um, but left to them, they didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Kids find chaos to be giggly shit.
Yeah, and it's terrible, man. Like, cause I think that's what worries me about the intensity of like
The
um
future.
and news that we're getting, man, and there's the constant desensitization that's happening.
Yeah,
Because it's continuing, and we kind of can't escape it. We kind of can't escape it, man. So yeah, I saw that recently happen, and I'm like, Jesus Lord, what else is gonna happen in the city? The city just like it's not even summertime officially yet. You know what I'm saying? Um, I've seen
I feel
the guy sent me over a video, man, of this dude, of apparently some dudes that have been robbing a barbershop, and then somebody pulled out a gun on broad daylight. One of the people that were from the barbershop that were tired of getting robbed, and they stopped the guys, and then you had the police chasing them along with the guy that pulled out a gun. It was like just intense stuff that's happening in the city, man. I'm just like,
Yes, I recently learned to just shut the fuck up. Like something had pissed me off yeah, the other day on
yeah,
the train. I told you, and I don't know. I kind of was like, I was like, damn, I almost got caught up. You know what I'm saying? Caught with the hook. You know what I'm saying? They baited
mm,
me. I got upset, and I was like, you know what? Hold on, wait a minute. As I reflect, I'm like, I wasn't upset. I was actually in a good space until somebody said something out of their mouth that I felt judged about. But then like anybody's gonna say anything. Now that I had to reflect and realize, like, look at these videos I'm seeing with celebrities. Like, they say the most random shit. Dawn
mm-hmm.
Richards is walking down the street and somebody says, "I want to get fucked for 10 mil. I want to get abused for 10 mil." You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you, yo? So I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, I need to just. It's actually it's not a good thing that like not being I
Mm-hmm.
was like avoiding public and shit, but then once you get out, you can't really avoid that one person who's gonna come out their mouth. So it's like, actually, no, you know, I do need to be out more.
Yeah.
Okay. It made me want to be out actually more, even though in my mind I was like, this in my head I was like, man, this is why I don't fucking go out. And then I had to reflect recently, like, no, this is why you need to be out because you a sane person. Like you, I feel like saying all this random shit is gonna come at people like nobody gonna do nothing out
Yeah.
there.
I think that's the one thing we have to be careful about. I think some of the things that come up for me as far as like these experiences that we get in the summer is you know it, on the one hand, I know that I recognize that the city's seeing a big problem with people who are houseless, who are being kept in a certain cycle.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
people who are in serious need.
yeah,
Um, and then on top of that, dealing with addiction, and so there's a lot of people with. We have to be careful, This
yeah,
on the one hand, there's a lot of folks who need help, and on the other hand, these folks also create a certain environment, do things. And some, cause not all, not
right,
everybody under
right,
these
right.
conditions are out like acting wild or attacking folks. You're hearing stories mm, recently that are coming out in the MTA about stabbings, and this recently. I mean, I think there was one up until 4 to 5 days ago.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
and these kind of stories are now, you know, to me, they're kind of like having it's like repetitive almost, and so you wonder what's being done. And obviously, if you're not tapped in, you would think you would have to walk outside guarded. And I know, especially as men, that we probably looking at that like we already got to prepare for war. Like who's gonna test us? And the reality is that I think oftentimes we do get tested, um, for that reason. Oh, well, Rob's there's apparently something wrong with his connection, so
On my phone, yeah, it switched up. I could hear you, but it has
yeah.
switched to the old headphones.
Oh, okay, okay.
Um, So my fault. You were saying I had just missed because you had said that there were recent stabbings, and I had said, yeah, bro, somebody even got raped. But I don't know if you heard me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Was that the man?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
which is intense, right? How often do you hear of a sexual assault happening to men? And then in the subway, I don't recall the last time I've heard the mainstream news reported. Not that it's never happened,
Yeah, it's
but
insane.
to hear it being reported. So yeah, and then it just again, it's getting it's intense, like sort of energy in the air that I think folks often don't get a chance to talk about. Well, what does this mean? What does this mean for the rest of us who are trying to live our daily lives but have to sort of navigate these same spaces, take these same trains, and then you know are we supposed to be careful? Are we supposed to be vigilant? um
Right,
people
right,
people
right.
people are out here testing us. I know recent with your experience,
Well,
and
that's
sometimes,
the dilemma, bro. That's a
but
dilemma
I
because
say
again,
we're allowed to say things like if somebody on
the
the
guy
train
got
says
upset at me
something.
thinking
Yeah,
that I offended him because I was cautious
yeah.
for the about of the other man. So that's kind of interesting, you
And
know.
then yeah, he had a comment on it, and then you commented back. I think that's fine. Like I think us saying things to somebody that's an asshole, because sometimes New Yorkers were like that. We're very rude, and so if someone's rude to me on the train, I'll be rude right back. But I'm definitely not. I'm definitely mindful not to instigate anything. And I think yeah,
Bro,
I know you're
I
the
was,
same way.
yeah, I was so, yeah, but what I was upset about was like, man, like I was actually like something about me wanted him to look at me for some reason, and on God, he didn't. Like, so I'm like,
Just like look
I
at me so
felt,
I can say something.
I'm like, yeah, I feel, yeah, and
Listen, sometimes you just want to
that kind
tell
of bothered
somebody.
me
Yeah.
because it was like initially I wanted to de-escalate until you wasn't hearing me, and then I started getting triggered by the not being not being heard and being like, yeah, no, no, fuck that. You know what?
Yeah.
Word, you don't
Yeah.
act like you don't hear me. Yeah, you gonna look at me. I want this
Yeah.
again.
You wanted to smoke that day. I mean, it
Yeah,
happens,
it's
bro. It
crazy.
happens, bro. I don't want you don't have to feel.
The energy came following
Yeah.
too, man. It's contagious because you're right. It's all over New York. Because like I told you, then I went to that event. The event got a little funny too.
Yeah, man. I think people,
So
and
you're
I
right.
don't know what it
It's a
is.
New York City summertime thing. Everybody's outside. Everybody's like, yo, we've been inside the whole time. They feel a little privileged to. I'm supposed to have a good time. What you mean? You know what I'm saying? Hold on,
And
this is my good time.
inconvenience.
This is my moment.
Yeah.
You fucking up my moment, bro.
Yeah. So I think for me, I would say right now this is a call for folks to just slow it down. We're all
Amen.
gonna get to try to enjoy our summer, man. Let's just make it out unscathed. I think that's the key
Yeah,
for
that's up to
me.
that.
'Cause these days with all the news, you just never know. And so I
Um,
think what I would like to just hope for in the summer, at least, that um, we don't revert to our horrible behavior. I would encourage. I'm gonna say right now, our men. Men, please, like catcalling is still a problem. Like sexually harassing and screaming things at a woman on the street is a problem. Like making women feel uncomfortable is a problem. Like if you love enjoying seeing summer dresses outside, then like stop being a problem and stop making women feel unsafe when they're wearing their summer dresses or their short skirts or whatever they're wearing to wear outside because it's hot. Like we can. I'm not saying be a stickler, whatever. If you want to admire and stare because some woman look bad in her summer dress, cool. I do the same, but do not yell 50 million things or don't run out like I seen dudes. I'm at the barbershop, man. Dudes will run out the barbershop just to see a woman pass. Like that's too much, man. Like
they wild and
let's
that's
not do all that.
crazy.
You got men that stop their
It
cars.
made
Like
me
if
feel so corny.
like if you're already on your way, you're already on your way, bro. Like I would never stop my car dead tracks just to stare at a woman in a summer dress because she look bad and she has a banging body, whatever the case may
Sometimes
be.
I don't know. I
You
don't
know
know
what I
what it
mean?
is about
Like I
men with
don't
that.
think
I be wondering if it's just a case of
I
maybe they just hadn't gotten enough
I think
of
it's
like
habit. I think it's habit because
good
it's even
relationship.
men.
You know?
Yeah, and it's the constant objectification of women that's been made okay. It's the normalization of it.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, for sure. That for sure.
I think some don't see it as like it's like a normal behavior. That's just what we do. You feel me? So like I don't look at it like as a big deal. So I do think some men still feel that way. And then obviously I would be some sort. And to me, I'm not even saying this thing just to be a pander. Like I've been saying this for years now, that catcalling is a problem. I mean,
Hmm.
there's a video you and I are on YouTube still about like
Yeah.
anti-catcalling from like 2011. You know, this is stuff that's been a conversation, and I know I've been against it. Again, I'm not gonna be like I've changed my positioning uh, in terms of like again, if someone does look good, I think it's hard not to look like someone's attractive, and
Right.
especially like if you're going outside, everyone's weren't look and then you
Oh,
got
bro, yeah.
you
I saw
know
there was another shorty. It was a woman over there, bro. That she was over there ordering tacos, and I swear she didn't stop 1 second, bro, to put down her skirt. The wind blew up her skirt, and she was super comfortable with everyone seeing her little bit booty and her little spandex shorts. And I found myself be like, well, okay, yeah, I should be comfortable too. Let me continue to try to figure out which taco I want.
yeah,
Where am I? Why I saw it, and okay, that's it. Like,
that's
what am I
it,
trying? I'm not.
that's it,
That's
that's it.
it.
You just move
Niggas,
on, man,
I
move
laugh, but
on,
it's really
bro.
an immaturity. I gotta be honest, brother. That's why I told you. I just wondered if maybe they
And
didn't get enough.
conditioning.
Like
No, it's
they weren't.
conditioning, Rob. Cause I was there. I was there once. I thought it was normal
Yeah,
until I learned that it's not normal. And then you talk to women and you really find out how uncomfortable it makes them.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
cause in the
Well, that they
second,
want the attention, but they don't want it from. It becomes then everyone. Then it's like you forget that they're also human, and that is overwhelming, bro. Like it's like yeah, I don't know if men just not relating to the the sensitivity that we all just have that women are able to express more. Because I do understand these things feel vulnerable to talk about. Like
but we don't like to
you know
be
what I mean?
stared at. And I think men have had,
Yeah,
you
I've had
know,
that experience. Like
and
I
we've had,
dress up looking fly, but I don't want everybody to be like, "Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo," because then at some point you either feel like you're gonna get robbed or what, that they're lying or niggas is gas, and then like you
hmm
start feeling all these things.
yeah. Or we just know what it feels like, bro, to be, victimized or like gawked at, and whether that's
Hmm.
in a good way or in a bad way, whether we are being looked at by a group of dudes that look like they want to rob us. And so we know what that's like when we get that energy. It's not, doesn't feel cool,
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
would hope that this summer, 2025, we get it right. I would hope that none of my brothers, like, again, start engaging in foolishness around that. Like, because I'm not into that, man. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's going to scare women from, I've been saying it. Like, if you want to see more summer dresses, then stop acting like assholes and let women be safe and free outside. Like I think women would show,
Well, there's a difference to me, brother. Like
you know,
safety for sure, like for sure. But there's
because
a
I
difference too, like them doing the catcalling, like is a very big difference from like crossing that line and yeah, I mean like I agree on both. I just think like
no, as I'm saying,
fellas like
they
you know what
shouldn't.
I'm
You could
saying,
say
yeah,
you could look like, but like you said, like let the moment pass. Don't. It should never be a grand moment, or again putting yourself in danger. Like I seen dudes again, they'll be on a bike and they'll stop dead track just to stare, and it's like now they know you're doing that. It's just too much. It's just too much
you know what I
attention. Like
wanna
keep
I
it
wanna
moving, or just
yeah.
don't say nothing.
But
If the opportunity presents itself to give a compliment because they opened the door for you to have that conversation, then try shooting a compliment. Doesn't hurt.
do you
Again,
ever think about this,
like
Al, though?
you just
How
gotta,
sad
you
that
know what
is,
I'm saying?
though, that we're there because couldn't there, and like sometimes my imagination takes me to a place of like, I try to imagine, all right, like if we end up being in a place where all of these, the bad things we do are resolved, right? Like that doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? Like that could be a beautiful story when you see the woman or the woman sees you and y'all stop and like y'all have that connection. So I'm like, why does it man it's just so it just sucks that it becomes overwhelming when it's like everyone is like no one it's like I guess everyone's out for their own self-interest, right? Because at first one-on-one I see her, she sees me, it could be a great thing. Like you stop, she's looking fly, and now you could have just met the partner of your life, you know what I mean? But then it
Mm.
becomes a thing where then now all the other men are looking, and then you know what I'm saying, now they don't like that you're with them. Or the same thing with women, right? Women are looking at the man, like then it becomes a thing of like there's other things to talk about. That's what makes me sad about this. Like, a woman passing by, now you don't feel like you should. As a man, I don't feel like I should immediately jump to being like, damn, she's fly. Let me see if I could talk to her. Right now where I'm at in the stage of life is just like I leave it like to see like, well, maybe a conversation will spark up on its own. I'm not gonna spark it up because I already like, you know what I'm saying? Already the energy of past, the past kind of
Yeah.
makes me feel like this is already gonna be looked at as like
Mm.
I'm not interested, and it's like, whoa, I was just trying to
Yeah.
spark conversation because you caught my eye, but it doesn't have to even go that way. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even have to go that way.
Well, that's why I think you brought up a good point. I think maybe it starts with again changing the mindset. Like if we just stop looking at women, and again it goes back to objectifying them, seeing how we can like just them as a sexual intimate being, not just as a person first. So you know, so I think it starts from even just like if you want to be interested in a woman and get to know her, then how can you just develop a relationship starting from scratch, from friendship, not even from like a I want to date you or you look mad good, so now you know I see you as a partnership, but how can we, you know, how are we neighbors? How are we neighbors first?
Right.
How are we comrades? You know, because there's a lot of shit that we could fight. There's a lot to fight for. Like how are we comrades in this world? You know, in this society, first, and then
Right.
figure out
Right.
what else goes there. So, but again,
A man said
that
comrades.
that
He
to
from
me
the
is
Bronx with the word comrades. I like it.
that to me is no. Well, I'm you know
Not that I'm not saying it's like
it's
a. it's,
it's just thinking like that, but that's wishful thinking, you know, because
God
I'm
bless.
talking like for us as men to again deprogram ourselves to stop looking at women from a sexual object. Because again, even knowing, I guess speaking personally, like I've had to learn a lot. There's a lot of education, a lot of reading that I've had to do to still learn the nuances in which I still objectify women and look at women through like sexual objects only or sexual objects first, and then everything else follows if it doesn't work out, you know. But that's a problem because we don't do that to other men. We don't we don't sexualize other men. You know what I'm
Right. You don't
saying?
see a man be like, damn, he's handsome. Like, y'all
you
should get to
know
know him and as a
you
friend.
know like we don't do that. So is that
That's true.
imbalance? But that's what I think it has to do with deprogramming, you know, ourselves into looking at women differently. um yeah, because again I think I'm not gonna be like, oh, if someone looks good, and again if someone who looks good and just they attract attention, that just happens. Someone who smells really well, who obviously is dressing fly, and then like if they have a good physique, you know, it stands out. Like if they're extremely tall or something, you know. So of course, as humans, we're gonna look men and women alike. But again, I think this unique thing that men have when we see women's skin, is like we can't control ourselves, and we tell ourselves that. We gotta deprogram ourselves to see women of bare skin, and then all of a sudden act crazy and act like we're losing control, and it's her fault for why we're losing control. I think that's a deprogramming that a lot of men have to do, and so hopefully we do, because again, if we do, I think women will walk around more freely, and they'll probably walk around wearing less clothes because it do be hot in New York. It do be hot, and I'm sure women don't want to wear all the clothes that they be having to wear. But again, we make them feel uncomfortable, so they're gonna restrict themselves. But yeah, my hopes for this summer is that. I mean, what are you planning to get into this summer though? I think you know specifically. Is there anything you want to do out there? Looking forward to um, this summer.
Man, so I was just attended the. It's not like I guess it was like an open mic, but it was a scheduled open mic.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I've spoken on here that I've been doing that a lot, but the other at the event I was yesterday, it was interesting about like talking to some of the artists over there and realizing that I don't specifically target open mics. You know, and I'd be like, I should actually. I just go to the open mic where I might know somebody who's performing. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, damn, I should go to just different each borough and just kind of dabble and see what's popping off with these open mics in the summers because that would be my crowd, you know.
Yeah, nice.
So
That's
that's
fine.
one thing. How
Yeah.
about you?
Honestly, that seeing more outdoor concerts if I can. I already got one on my radar, the 31st, the Use of Days
But
Experience. They're gonna be in
what's
Central
up?
Park. They're like a modern, I would say, jazz band. Um, it's pretty fire, bro. Their live instrumentation is super dope. Uh, so I want to say live for myself. That's been my latest like
How'd you hear about them?
um just browsing through like YouTube. I'm always looking for like I was looking for like live performances of just instrumentalists.
Right.
The most well known is FKJ. I don't know if you heard of him,
No.
but he's a multi instrumentalist dude. Got like millions of subscribers on YouTube. He does like pretty cool stuff where he does like live beat making. You know, pretty much if I could.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we love that
You
for
know,
sure.
live track making, and he plays all his instruments. So he'll get on like he'll start with a piano chord, and then he'll go to like you know he'll loop that, then he'll jump on the guitar, he'll add a guitar thing, then he'll loop that,
Mm.
He'll get on the
Oh, that's
drums,
fire.
and you see him building the track up, and it's pretty dope the way he does it. So he actually, FKJ actually has a pretty dope collaboration with Yusuf Days. He's a drummer and musician from the UK, and they do a dope segment where he's like improvising.
Yusuf, it sounds familiar, that name.
He's doing the drumming he's doing the drumming, like improvising obviously, and then FKJ is like doing the looping. You know, he's going on the piano. He does it. You know what I'm saying?
That guy like have like big hair, Yusuf.
Kind of. He has, I think, long hair. He has like locks. He's light skinned, man. He almost look like Sean Paul a little bit.
Oh no,
Like he could be Sean Paul's
nice.
cousin. That's funny, but that ass. But yeah, got put onto them, man. Guys is dope stuff, man. I'll probably play something towards the end.
So you said that was when in Central Park?
Yeah, the 31st on the Central Park stage. Which honestly, I don't remember the last time I ever even gone to a Central Park.
Right, like a stage, right?
Yeah. I think years ago, I know they had something going on. I went. So I've seen music at them, but you know, yeah, not like that. But anyway, that's what I'm looking forward to. It's from 6 to 10. The doors open at 5.
Oh yeah, I heard it here first, man. See, there's some things to do in New York City.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be dope. And I don't work Friday, so I work the 31st, but I don't work Friday, so yeah. It's crazy how the bleachers though cost more than the fucking standing room. But I figured the bleachers cost more because you get to sit in the standing room is standing, and I'm not about to stand for hours though. So yeah. So anyway, that's the
looking
first
at the
stuff.
tickets right now.
Yeah. Just I was like pretty curious.
Yeah, Friday there's gonna be a show at MSG. I'm not quite sure then, but Thursday game two.
Game one being tomorrow, right?
Next to the Pacers.
Nice. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
That's right. The Knicks. We'll get back to that's another
Just
thing.
exciting times in New York City. Just highs and lows. It's so interesting how the winter could like just keep you away from it all, and then you just kind of feel like I felt like damn, I like need to get out. I need to be active. I need to do things. Like the shit was like tough to be indoors. I'm happy when the sun comes out. Then I go out and everyone's out, and it's like okay, here we go. These are the high.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Highs and lows for sure.
All right, like we said, the Knicks if they win, that it's gonna be pandemonium, man. I mean, we already saw pandemonium.
Man, I was so happy seeing those people. Yeah, just for that right there, round 2 win. Oh my god.
You
I was just out
excited?
there watching that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just chilling outside watching. I just had good vibes, man. You know what's funny is that
how crazy was it though that
It was wild. It was, and ironically, like we were right there where that video is, where the guys they're like you could see the officers holding the barricade, but they look like they're getting shook, like they're about to stop. And then the officer says, "Let it go." We were literally right there, me and Ish, but Ish was like, "Yo, let's get out of here." But for some reason, I would have stood there, bro. If it wasn't for him saying, "Let's move," and I don't know what it was. I was just like, I felt good. I was just like, "Oh, we're chilling right here." And he said like 2-3 times like we should move, but I was like lingering. And thank God at some point I heard him like, "Yeah, nah, let's go. Yeah, let's go. You want to go down that way?" Because then we started walking and just hit 42nd and 59th. Like we just kept walking. But yo, bro, right there, that was where they started.
Talk about this video, this shit right here.
Let me see. We taking it over. It's New York, nigga. Yo, Tatum, I hope you okay. But we sent him to Cancun. We sent him Diddy with him. Tatum, you're a fucking bitch. I'm gonna cut Jason Tatum, nigga. I love your baby mom, so she look good. Call the National Guard right now. We not going home. We smoking that Boston pack. Fuck Boston, nigga. Hudson is the king of New York. I love you. Look at this shit. He poured honey in his motherfucking mouth. Oh my God.
This is insane. This shit look like the Christmas parade.
How the fuck did he even get up there? Yeah, I was across the street from that. Suck my dick. Knicks fans ain't never had nothing. Suck my dick, nigga. Fuck you talking about? I clam chowder. Suck my nick, nigga. Fuck clam chowder.
Jason Tatum, you still sleep with your mother, you bitch ass nigga. Who the fuck is nigga?
God.
Suck a New York City hot dog, nigga. Fuck bullshit.
Yeah. Nah, I didn't see that video. That's great. That's great. That was a
Fucking
great one.
side talk, man. Fucking
Nah,
side
but they was
talk.
wildin' though. I don't know how I would have felt though if I mean, I guess I
You
gotta
said you was
know
across the
better,
street
bro.
from the dude that was all the way up
From
top.
a dude on the yeah.
How the
on
fuck did he even get
billboard.
up there?
Yo, bro, I wish I knew, yo.
I know. I think the
wish I
billboards have ladders, so he must have found where the ladder was at, and he climbed up there. But he went crazy for that one because he could have seriously got hurt.
Hell yeah.
But
And arrested. I was surprised that I didn't hear no backlash.
bro, what are the New York City cops supposed to do with all this? Like, how much people were, bro? It looked intense in that small video. I can't even imagine.
Bro, mad funny. Like,
They're going crazy.
I saw Denver Nuggets had on the floor. I was like, what? Why? And I just knew, like, yo, we would hate it. Like, just fuck everything.
Yeah.
Like, we won. Yeah, fuck you. We champions. Fuck you. There's the energy. It's fuck you. We the champs. Fuck you. We the champs.
Listen, all I would hope for, because there was that one video that you did see. There was like an Indiana Pacers fan leaving the.
Bro, they throw garbage at him. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Like,
But there's
what
another
is
video
life?
of another angle that he's kind of provoking it first. Like right before that, he's the one that provokes it. You know, they were just at first it was like a lot of banter back and forth, but then he started saying some wild shit, and then I guess pissed off the people. So
Oh my
you know.
God, save that man. That's all I heard that woman say.
Yeah.
Oh my God, someone save that man.
They got crazy. I just do hope New Yorkers don't get crazy, because I do think there's a fine line between like being excited and being over the top, and then there's just, I think, between being disrespectful, you know? Like, I would hope that New York City, us as fans, we're not, like, rioters, you know what I mean? Like, sure, wild out for one bit, because obviously they wild out. But, like,
Bro,
you know,
already,
like,
if
you
you
know,
were talking to a crowd of 3,000, they would have rioted just because you said, well, fuck that, we're rioters.
yeah, they probably would, but that's just my hope right now. Well, look, this is my little chance, my little soapbox that we've been able to create. So I'm just going there for that, because, yeah, man, like, I'm telling you right now, the Knicks, throughout this Eastern Conference Finals, I'm going to pull up, like, and even if they start winning and they're hitting the finals, like, I'm pulling up. You know, we're going to,
Gang, we live, we outside.
it's been 84 years. Like, you know,
Yeah.
waited a long time for this. So, you know, I'm not going to, you know, there's a part of me that energy that we just played in the video for other people. Yeah, I understand the whole thing. It may sound like craziness, but I understand everything that was going on.
Yeah, I would love to be like, I would love to let loose, but,
You know, some of the stuff is
unfortunately,
OD. Some stuff, I do think some stuff is
I'm
OD,
not
like,
18
you
and they
know.
winning.
That was
I
a
was 18 with them winning.
Yeah.
I hit Times Square when the Giants won.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to the parade if the Knicks win. It's gonna be crazy. I do hope that, again. I do hope it gets crazy, but not over the top. Again, I wouldn't want nobody to get hurt, because sometimes I have seen crowds and parades and stuff that's supposed to be fun and exciting turn into like
hell yeah.
violence and aggression. Again, going back to like women who get harassed. Some men take advantage of these crowds to then, you know, harass women for real and like take advantage of like the big crowd. So cut that out if that's you, man. Let's just all have a good time, especially all as New Yorkers, because we could use a win. We could use a win, and so yeah, keep the fun. Again, there's not no party pooper. There's no party pooper vibes. This is just like, there's a way to have fun and not be fucking dickheads. You know, I think the internet has got us used to being trolls and into trolling behavior, but obviously, like, there's always should be a limit, you know, to fun. Like, I was hoping nobody, you know, they didn't OD on Tatum and get on his injury, because that would be for OD. But nobody said nothing about his injury. They just say he goes sleep with his mom still and stuff like that. Like this.
Well, nothing that you caught on camera. Because let me tell you, when I was over there, they saw an ambulance. Ish told me this story. An ambulance passed by.
Yeah.
And so it was like, yo, look, it's Jason Tatum. No! Yo, bro.
I can't.
I mean,
You can't. We
no.
can't, yo. We can't. That's the part that makes me worried.
I was
I'm like,
why they talk about LMA for? Why? Leave her alone. leave the family alone, man.
yeah. Well, that's you know, it's one of those things where I find fun in the midst of craziness, because while New York City is is doing its thing, while the Knicks are doing their thing at the same time. In New York City, we have the Diddy trials going on, you know, which took
Mhm.
place, and we are now up to day 6 of these trials. So while we have a win, another one of our quote unquote moguls and legends from the city is on trial for one of the biggest cases, I think, celebrity cases, um, of our time. You know, before that being R. Kelly, that was pretty big. Um,
Damn, why they drew Diddy like that? That's crazy. Look at these drawings have been going very viral.
but yeah, so we have day 6 of the Diddy trial. CNN, obviously, I put it up here, has a breakdown of what's been going on from day to day. So the most latest is that the trial is being adjourned until tomorrow, and then they had a recap of what happened. So far we had Dawn Richard, formerly of Danity Kane, telling her side of things. Then they had a friend of Cassie's also go on. Our former assistant was also on,
Who's that?
and spoke.
Jose
Yeah.
Guzman?
So yeah, this has been crazy, man. It's been a crazy trial. I mean, what was it? Last year was when already we got. When was that? Was it about last year? It might have been around last year that this video of him assaulting Cassie in the hotel came out. That video has close to a year now, I think,
You
that it
think
came
so?
out. Wasn't it on Bugging? Let me see.
I don't know if it was a little longer. It just keeps resurfacing, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's difficult to know.
I'm trying to see when it was first reported. I mean, they have it all because there's new video now of like supposedly surveillance
Hmm.
footage where he's talking to like the security guard or something like that.
Dude, there's a video that I just saw a little clip. I never even saw the whole thing, but he was in the hotel. He had taken the lamp and threw it at her. Like they have a
No, yeah.
short.
Well, the Washington Post had their first article actually May 19th of 2024. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
it was a year to the date that this video came out, and you know here we are a year later now. The trials is underway. Um, so initial thoughts, man. What's been your thoughts on this trial and like things that Diddy, which I don't know if you've been had a chance to read or look into like what has been said so far about him, but
A
what are
little
just
bit,
like
yeah.
yeah. So what are your like your current take, hot take, if you will?
I mean, you know, first and foremost, like for me, I just I want to address the public too, because like how I've been like going about it when I get the information is that
Hmm.
I'm very well aware that I may not know still the full story. You feel me? Like I'm always trying to take myself to the place of like no matter what I hear, I was excuse me, I wasn't there.
Mhm.
And I try to take responsibility for when I'm in places and the situations I put myself in. So like I just take everything with a little grain of salt, man. Just hearing it, just taking it like for what it is, and reminding myself of like this isn't even about Cassie too. So like all the information that you're getting is just supposed to be leading to something else. Because today apparently this is the last you'll hear from her of her testimonies. Like she
Mhm.
shared her testimony and that's it. So I was grateful to hear that because it started becoming more about that, you know, and then showing just really how men and women just really can't be there for each other in a situation that I think wasn't solely created by. At some point, it felt like obviously he created the situation, but it felt like then from the information I was getting that she wasn't completely against everything, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Where do you get that from? Like hearing,
Well,
cause
from the
is that
certain,
what
well,
she?
so this is the tough part too, right? Because
Yeah.
then I asked myself, I don't know the energy. I don't even know if the texts are real. To one, I don't know what's the energy behind text. Two, and three, no matter what the person says, well, that's the same thing about the feeling. Like I just don't know what's happening in live person. Like that matters. So when I got that information to answer your question is from the text of like where that's being shared of when she's saying like, "Are you horny?" Asking him like because she wants to engage with him, but apparently he engages sexually. His sex is like a level 10, 12, 15, right? She wants to be intimate with him, but this is the only way that he gets intimate. So it was almost a case of like someone just trying. I felt like if anything, then if anything, that maybe this was just a person who was hoping that Diddy would change. You know what I'm saying? Like was hoping that maybe this is a phase, and if I like, you know what I'm saying, at some point it'll stop. But this is really just seems to be how this guy wants to operate his life. This is how he is. It's not gonna change. You know what I'm saying? Not for you at all. So that's kind of the energy I was getting. Um, where like I don't think she was completely over it. I just didn't think that she just thought it was gonna get worse and worse and worse. You know what I'm saying? That it was gonna get more and more and more intense. You know, like and then when it gets intense for her, it's not intense for him. Right? Like, oh, I got sores in my mouth and everything. And he's like, you know what I'm saying? But did you die though? Almost like pretty much that kind of energy. Like, you know, like, oh, and then now if she's horny and he's just with a flat no, I started getting that. Like, so basically you were used. You know what I'm saying? It's not to say he don't care about you because he cares about what you give him. But if you don't give it to him, then he don't care about you. And so then it is still very toxic, very abusive. And so then but I can't have those answers. You feel me? I don't know Cassie's heart, you know, whether or not, you know what I'm saying? Like you were, you know, it was, I want to say like you were 19, so you could have been manipulated, bro. But I can't tell that person, you know, that's for Cassie to answer. That's the weird thing about, that's why I said, first and foremost, I don't address the society because we keep throwing our opinions on and our opinions just reflect on us. But what I do get the most of is like if a person like Cassie, I wouldn't support somebody. I really just don't know how to support people through tough times. Cassie or Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Like this man that needs rehabilitation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all those things that if that's how your sex is, bro, at some point people get hurt, like that's not cool. So no matter how you want to live your life, like you can't really be there for people when it gets tough. Like that's the shit that I want. You know, I see in society that we just dump people like that. Like shit gets too intense for us, even if we were a part of it before when it was good. You know, and we dump people as soon as it gets hard for them. Like, oh no, no, no. You knew what it was. You knew what it was. That's what I don't like about this whole shit.
Well, I gotta push back a bit, Rob, because I asked about your thoughts and you focus on the sexual part of the stuff, but I mean, you didn't mention anything
Because I
about
felt like that's all
the.
we got.
Well, no, there's more. I mean, it's put up right now where Dawn Richard talked about the beating. I mean, we
Oh,
have more
I
than just the
actually
sexual
didn't hear
stuff.
about Dawn, man. Yeah, you could fill me in on that, please. I
But
don't know
also, I
nothing
mean,
about the one.
there was also the hotel beating, which we all saw last year. So we know it was beyond sexual because he also beat the crap out of her at a hotel room, and the way he beat her wasn't like a. That wasn't the first time he beat her, like because what he did with the hotel, dragging her, like we all saw that last year. So that's why I'm kind of curious that that's still something that you took away from. No, well, I'm just saying, knowing the violence that he also like we
Well, I meant the
saw,
relationship wise, man.
we
That,
saw,
but that's definitely wrong, bro.
but
Like,
that goes. That's what I'm saying. It goes hand in hand. So that's why for me, I knew it was abusive from the end. So text messages, whatever, all the stuff I'm saying about people trying to make it seem like it was a consensual thing. I mean, sure, like if you ask an abused woman or an abused person, hey, abused man, like, hey, is this person abusing you? No, they're not. They're not. Like, of course they're gonna say no. How often, even in a public eye, you see people stand up for people all the time. I mean, folks have abusive parents and have a hard time admitting that their parents are abusive to them. So, anything that Cassie says as far as like if she denies any of his wrongdoing, it's kind of hard to look at it and not wonder like how much of it is fear based.
right,
Because,
right.
Dawn, for example, came up, she clearly testified to like seeing him often beat her, like, at random times. I mean, it gets really detailed in the actual case when she talks about certain studio sessions she's seen where he's screaming at her, beating her just for disagreeing. Then she also talked about where she was Dawn, where basically she's saying that in her time Diddy also tried to, threaten her and say, hey, if you say something, something's gonna happen to you. Like you basically didn't see nothing here. And what I saw in the morning that they reported specifically is that he had told her something along the lines of like, after he had finished like arguing with Cassie and like hitting her over the head, he kicked her out the studio, came back into the studio, and told Dawn and her friend like, what you just witnessed is a matter of love and passion between two people. So therefore, like, it's none of your business. Like, nothing less, nothing more. so don't say nothing. So I was like, interesting that he decided to say what you saw as a matter of
Wow, I
passion and
didn't hear
love.
that. That's crazy.
Um, because again, it's
Nah, it's very obvious
it's
then. Yeah,
abuse 101. Like, to say
yeah.
that what you saw is love is not what you saw is not abuse. What you saw was love. So there's also the friend. So this is all within the last. Cause this is day 6. So I think what the part that's now tricking me and kind of like making me think that this might, he might go free is that he's being charged with racketeering and sex trafficking. Yet everything so far has been focusing on his abuse. So
Right.
he could get. So my fear is that they're charging him with something that's not going to fly. Like if he's on trial for being a domestic violence abuser, then and assaulting his partner, then he's probably going to be found guilty of that. But my fear is that all this stuff and it's focused on Cassie and how he's been abusive to her, that it's going to become about him being abusive to her, but not in any way tied to sex racketeering or sex trafficking.
Which will open the doors to exactly who even groomed him to feel comfortable and doing what he was doing himself. That's not.
So that
That's
that
kind
is
of
a
where I
bigger
was getting
picture
at.
for sure,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I think my fear is that people will look at it like, which again happens with Diddy, happened before. It's just that this is the powers that be trying to take down a black man, and I don't want it to turn into that, like, either. Like, do believe that there's I
Is it already that though? That's the
listen.
question.
I mean, they
Is that what it already is?
there was allegedly tapes and stuff, right, that he had in his crib. Like,
Yeah.
if Diddy, famously throwing these big celebrity parties and he's inviting the top of the top in New York City, obviously the top of the top will also likely include politicians and VIP. So if he had videos, who's not to say he has a famous politician in one of his tapes participating in the quote unquote freak offs, which is just big ass orgies, like.
It's
Who's
starting to feel like for me these things
who's
are
not
starting
to
to feel like
say?
rituals.
Who's not to say that he you know that that's not the case? I mean, I don't think it's ritual, Rob. I just think it is what it is. Like, these guys engage in these things. Somebody has to take the fall, and someone else eventually in the future is gonna come along. They're gonna take the fall for this kind of like behavior and criminal behavior, really, that people with a lot of money and influence end up engaging in. And
But do you
us,
ever think
the
that
people at
it's
the
just like one
bottom.
person? Isn't
mm,
it? You say that it's like groups. You be saying people act in groups. So for me, it's like why then in the hood they don't just take away one gangster? They try to look for the whole group of them and bring them out the building. Why
Nah,
they do
they,
that
they
to
they
us like
usually
that,
they
but they
usually
don't do
get the
that over here
puppets.
with corporate.
They usually get the puppets. They usually get the little puppets, and if
So
that's that
that's
way,
what I'm
then
saying. So they don't feel like a puppet to you?
I
Does he feel
mean,
like he feel like a powerful puppet?
a powerful puppet for sure, but
That's it, just
but
Pinocchio.
but he might not be a puppet, bro. Because people do work their way up into being top dog. So
Respectfully, I don't hear him even agreeing that he's a puppet. Feel me? Like when I think of him talking about himself, he wouldn't agree he's a puppet.
no,
But I don't know. I would think that in some shape or form that's just your toxic
yeah.
masculinity because everything shows itself in light. Like the way you control men, you make them puppets. You make them have to go either fuck or get fucked. Like you control what they do at some point when they're around
hmm
you. So like that to me, you're a puppet, bro. No matter how you want to twist and turn it and make, put us in the funny mirror in the circus, like it's still the same shape. It's just still the same object, just different shape. Like it's weird. It's weird. I agree with you. I don't think this. But again, it's all by design, bro. I haven't even studied court or law, but I understand like this shit is stupid. Like y'all talking about Rico, and we over here with this. Day
hmm
6, day 3 should have already turned. Like Cassie should have had 1 or 2 days where y'all was already like trying to figure out what was happening because clearly his life was blowing over and he couldn't keep the top on, hiding what the fuck he was. So yeah, all right, fine, start with that. But day six, and we just got to dawn. The part we already knew that. I was telling you, we already knew this shit. It feels like, come on, like where's the
But did
professionals
we
at?
though? We did we though? You know
I
what I'm
felt like if
saying?
people were listening, yeah, we did. But for some reason, we got to get the shit in like a full course meal. Like they got to tell you this
But that's
breakfast,
why,
lunch, and dinner,
you know.
and you can't remember for yourself. Oh, this happened in 2007, but you don't. But we were just watching it and we were entertained.
But that's what I mean. Like to me, I knew, like I said, I knew Diddy for a while. Was like I was off that dude a long time ago. He tried to, even when he tried to brother love this, I was like, fuck that guy, man. Like he's still a snake and all that. And that was just off of the stories I knew when I learned of how much he was taken from, like how he was as a CEO in music. So and later on,
For
I
me,
found
it
out his
changed when I saw
abuse.
him. Yeah.
His abuse, but I've been off Diddy, but I saw how people made excuses for him, bro. Like, so that's why I feel like he's more than a puppet, because I seen how it took this much for people to be like, oh, he really is, and that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's how I know he has much more influence, because it took people this, and still even this is happening today, and people still feel like, no, he didn't really do what he did. Some people are questioning whether Cassie's part of some sort of Illuminati, he's trying to set him up. And I'm like, can't he just be an abuser like he's always been? He's just a rich abuser, so we see him as public. Like, we're going to act like abusers don't exist all of a sudden. And, like, unfortunately, there are more abusers walking around that there are not. So the chances of him being an abuser is actually very likely, especially when we're thinking about people with money and influence. So,
But this is what gets me. Like I be thinking, like, yeah, why? Like, why is like I don't know. It's
I
weird.
mean, it's definitely
Weird.
court trying to take advantage. I mean, he could have run into somebody that has a lot of influence as well, who could stop an abuser. But again, that's not often. A lot of people, especially us as the public, we make so many excuses for celebrities, and this, like me, I think the whole thing could be rigged too. Obviously, like, but it's all fucked up. That's my whole point. Like, so even if Diddy's a puppet, and he's still a puppet that's part of this fucked up system. So it's F him, and then everybody else is gonna go down with him. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, it's not for me, because I'm not about to start writing, Diddy letters in jail. When there's freedom fighters, there's people who actually are fighting for our rights, and really are fighting against the system, who are sitting in jail right now. Revolutionaries who don't get a letter, who don't get this type of love that people get.
Right.
But this is the case with celebrity trials, man, because to switch over, there's also the situation with Tory Lanez came out recently, right?
Yeah.
And now there's new evidence where witnesses are saying that
He was really stabbed, right?
I don't know. Allegedly he was stabbed.
To me, it's all speculation too. I haven't heard anything. Yeah.
I mean, this came from him. This came from his I think he reported that he was stabbed. His team, right? I don't think this came from any publication, and like,
This is hard to believe what I see on. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's not actual public news, right? If I'm not saying like I don't know who's talking about it. Everybody say something. Nowadays it's crazy. Like they make even AI videos of like fake production sets.
Yeah.
So that they could like make you think that they got a footage of what's happening in the Avengers. I'm like, ew, what is this? This is a weird time.
Yeah, and look, my thing with it is, like, I don't know what to believe in this case. Again, this is another highlighted case again where I struggle with it. I'm of the mindset that, like, again, from what I've seen in these cases, if I'm looking at it from the lens of abuse, right, and relationship abuse, then to me, I don't see how he doesn't do what he's been accused and why he's in jail for. Tory Lanez, I'm speaking of, This is somebody who unfortunately has been, you could look into his past, and he has had public outbursts and public fights, and people publicly around him say he has a short temper. So is it far-fetched for me to believe that he's not capable of, like, losing his temper and then doing what he did, or he's accused of doing?
Nah, bro, you gotta believe what you see.
So I go off of that, and I know there are other folks on the other side who defend him to death, because they believe that there's some sort of conspiracy to get him locked up, and that Rock Nation somehow has something to do with him being locked up. And now you got Drake and other artists. I don't know if you saw, they're petitioning for his return.
I did not see Drake in the world with that.
Yeah. They call for his release to get out of prison. They want him pardoned.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they are they trying to post up. So the thing with me is that, like, again, here's my concern with this, how this is being played off, right? Like, you got regular fans and people who are watching music who will consider this some sort of conspiracy theory. Like, look, if Meg Thee Stallion is part of some big conspiracy to take him down in Rock Nation, and if they're doing it, trust me, they're not doing this for us, for the regular folks. They're not doing this to really revolutionize the music industry to get people, make sure people and artists are properly paid, and people not nobody's stealing from nobody. They're not making sure that this case brings about true change for men who are actually fighting the system to see their kids. They're not talking about revolutionizing cases for men who are caught in real abusive situations. None of that. This is all about saving their mans. So that's the part that rubs me the wrong way about this case in particular, men who stand up for him. I'm like, look, if you like Tory Lanez so much, then why don't you write him letters in jail? Let him know how, like, yo, he's a black man in jail, and this is what they wish to support him. Take time out of your day, write him a letter, write to him. He's in California. You could put a postcard. That's more effective than screaming at the top of your lungs that he's innocent, that there's some sort of conspiracy against him, that Rock Nation and Jay-Z want him locked up. Like,
It's crazy that they're selling $20 an hour free Diddy shirts, and I haven't seen no free Tory shirts for $20.
because people,
You heard about that?
no,
$20 an hour.
like,
Wear Diddy free Diddy shirt for $20 an hour.
I'm not surprised. People trying to make money off of incidents. You know what I mean? So that's what it is for me. It's like opportunity to make money. If there is a conspiracy for why these men are in jail, again, it's probably because there's some upper class deal that went wrong,
Right,
and
right,
then
right.
and
It's
it,
money.
and it's
It's
money
money
that
to
they're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with us. So
That's
you know,
1000% for me. It gotta be red on the money, bro. What you just said.
that's
It gotta
I'm
be
like,
red on the money. Cause Tory was making bread. Apparently, like a lot of, like I don't know him like that. I really don't follow his career. But every time I hear something about him in terms of culture, he sounded like he was a staple. Like he was doing things like people talk about his tapes. Like,
yeah,
oh nah, bro, he did these tapes and
sure.
niggas wasn't like on some like almost
Like
uh
he's a genius.
almost like how Fabulous moves around and everyone's like, yo, he's always relevant. It felt like Tory Lanez was about to do that, but on his own. See, I think Fab had team with him. I think Fab had like Diddy with him. I think maybe that's probably why. Maybe if it's a conspiracy thing, if he's being targeted, maybe it's like, like Russ.
I mean, some
Russ
people,
doing it on his own. Russ is
yeah.
quiet.
I
Russ is
mean, that's some of the conspiracy I heard so far, that
ruffling no feathers.
Tory supposedly, was on his way to really enter this independent realm. But it's hard for me to
That's
believe that
crazy.
because he rubbed elbows with so many mainstream people. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I just have a
Yeah, I
lot of
just don't know. Yeah,
reservations
okay.
for believing anybody. So my whole take on the Tory Lanez thing is like, if you're a regular person, if you're a super fan of Tory, write the man letters. He probably needs emotional support. Write him letters. Stop wasting time getting on the screaming to the top of the lungs that is a conspiracy theory. It's not gonna do nothing for that man. If you're a fan of him, I think support him, because I think more men need that. I don't think it's helpful to yell that Megan Thee Stallion and black women and women are liars. Like, that
Yo,
is not helping. People who
yeah, that's
argue
crazy.
that that's a thing in defense of Tory, that's what you're wasting your time. So me personally, I don't want to hear it because I have my trouble with Hollywood and the music industry, period. So me, I don't. Sure, if Megan Thee Stallion is lying, sure, great, she's lying. What does that have to do with me? She's also not revolutionizing anything on the ground that I need.
Right.
It's not my
That
problem.
part, that part
You
too,
know what I'm
right?
saying?
Like I don't really see him
So,
doing anything that, yeah,
so,
that needs to be
but I think that's what rubs people
targeted.
the wrong way. Because then when I give my opinion, I side with the fact that he seems like he could have done it, and I'm not ready to like fight him off as like innocent. I'm not quick to rush to call him innocent when, again, more than likely in this industry, as we've learned and we keep seeing, people when they have money and influence, and especially men, they tend to do a lot of the things that they've been accused of, and it's very
Now,
harmful
isn't it
things.
interesting though, Al,
You
that you
know,
don't have to say that though, because see within the story twist, like you don't have to say he does it either. Like you could really just, I don't know, I wasn't there. Like I hear what you're saying. The statistics say that most likely he did, but then comes a story though that the friend did it. Apparently, someone else was there, and it's like again, see, I wasn't there. Now, now somebody from the woods in the house, somebody was sniping in the woods, and they tried to shoot a deer. Actually, shot her foot. It was not, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, what happened was somebody shot in the air, and the bullet actually comes down, and it landed on her foot. It's a freak, one out of a million chance.
yeah. You
Like,
see,
and it could be
there's a conspiracy to take the black man down. I'm like, dogs. Like,
right. That's
if
what
I could
like.
point you
So
in
again,
so
I
many
wasn't
different
there. It's like,
directions as to
man,
what's a
bro, it's tough.
conspiracy to take the black man down, than these two celebrities who make a lot of money and who make a lot of money for music industry executives. You know what I'm saying? This is gossip hour.
Yeah, it's
And
tough.
again,
It's tough.
I do find it interesting. I did a quick Google search again just to look at some of these stories, and I know I'm posting up this one right here, but I found it interesting that, like, I'm looking up. You look up the story, simple Google search, and You don't have CNN and any credible news. And now,
Oh, talking about that. Oh, right. I feel
granted,
you.
I will say it's hard to even say what's credible these days when everybody's flip
Yeah.
flopping. You know, the Washington Post flip flops in their position, CNN. Again,
Right, right, right.
but what I did notice is that historically gossipy organizations are the only ones reporting on this situation and the fact that Drake, among other artists, are signing petitions to pardon Tory Lanez. I'm like, again, look, they're making this about him. If they really want to make it about jail and the issues with jail and men being wrongfully incarcerated, there's a way to do that and to speak to true revolutionary and people who are doing that kind of work, man. But making this like it's like a facade almost, you know, to get people fake invested, just so that these celebrities can really get their mans out of jail, you know.
Yeah.
And if they did it, do you think like, do I think Drake will still have his back? Sure, absolutely. I mean, again, how did R. Kelly get to be R. Kelly? Because so many people heard and knew about what he was doing and still decided to not care. So even if Tory did do it, people will still support him and people will still love him. Like, you know, we're not gonna act like that's gonna. If we knew the truth, that's gonna change. Oh, sorry. If we knew the truth, that you know, that's gonna change anything.
But that's what that's and again, so to your credit, right there where you finish your sentence, right? Like, should, people need support though. Like I don't want to. I think that sometimes we lose sight when we're on one side or the other. The fact that the other side does still get supported, like balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that other side won't like again when you we have episode where we talk about rehabilitation. Like for either or, one of the stories is true, and either or, I like that's where I want to keep my heart at. Where it's like, how it's about help. It's not about consequence for me, right? It's about help. So how do we help the situation, right? Like, or else do we not help the situation and it all becomes story and story, and then we just continue on because that's what we have a history of doing. Have two different stories and then just continue living, as opposed to coming to actual concise, like, yeah, what did we both see? You know what I'm saying? And even if we felt different things, what did we both see? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I don't like that we're going in America. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe even just as a humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. But that's why I think it would help us to just stay away from these celebrity stories, man. I think we could all reconnect and like kind of we could use a bit of a like you know a cleanse a little bit because there's these things that are distracting us from actually focusing on more real things like switching gears because I know we've been running for over an hour and I gotta go soon and get some food. I do want to direct your attention and really speak about this case, which I think is freaking
all the
crazy.
right. Talk to
hmm
me.
Yeah, man, it's an intense case here. Recently happening down in Georgia. So, you know,
Teen, right?
we've been hearing about no, I was a grown woman. So we've been hearing about these
Oh,
abortion bans for a while, right? The new administration is banning abortion. You have people who have had their issue with it. And then you have some folks who are like, maybe they should ban abortion. But here's the problem, man. There's some folks who didn't mind it, and I'm talking about when I say there's some folks, I'm talking about folks close to me, because I have people who are who you know who are my close circle family who have their own issues with abortion because they say for religious reasons, right? But then there's a dark side to accepting that there will be an abortion ban, and I think we've reached that point. I mean, we've been reached that point, but this is one of the sickest stories that reminded me of the Handmaid's Tale. So, is a brain dead? Is a woman? So the title here of this article by the Louisiana Illuminator says the case of a brain dead pregnant woman kept on life support is gut wrenching, right?
oh
So
shit.
Adriana Smith is woman in Georgia, right? She's a 30-year-old nurse from the Metro Atlanta area who had a medical emergency in February that involved blood clots in her brain. She was 9 weeks pregnant at the time and was declared legally dead, right?
Oh
Eventually, what
shit.
happened at the hospital is that they told her they cannot remove devices that are helping her to breathe because of the state's 6 week abortion ban. She was 9 weeks pregnant, remember? So you was
Oh
after
my
6 weeks, you're not allowed to
god.
abort. So what they've been doing, long story short, is that they've been keeping this woman to this day alive on ventilators, just breathing, but she's brain dead because they can't perform an abortion because it's illegal.
Holy shit.
If they decide to take her off the ventilator, then that means the baby will go with her or the fetus. And so if the fetus goes,
Right.
they technically would be performing an abortion, which is illegal. And so what is happening is that they're keeping her alive on ventilators.
That's insane.
She is now 21 weeks pregnant. The hospital staff told her they plan to keep her
Don't you go
alive
for like 50? Don't they
until
go for like
32 weeks pregnant.
Oh my God, I said 50.
So
Excuse me, I'm
they're
a
planning
male.
they're planning to keep her
I'm just
11
annoying.
more weeks alive.
Nah, that's crazy. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Like, so I have like, not to be insensitive, but I hope this doesn't come up insensitive. But my question is, I'm curious about what that baby is gonna, because I'm assuming the baby's just gonna be born at this point. I'm very curious about what the state of this baby. I don't think it's insensitive, is it? Like to just be curious about the state of this baby. Like, well, how is it gonna grow up? Like, you know what I'm saying? Mental. Like, is there any? You're because your mother wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh no,
what's the
they're asking the same questions. The grandma said the same thing. She's pregnant with my grandson, but he may be blind, may not be able to walk, may not survive once he's born. This decision should have been left for us. Now we're left wondering what kind of life he'll have, and we're going to be the ones raising him, she said. So they don't even know the answer to
well,
the questions that
amen
you're
that
already
they God bless
considering
that they're
and
gonna
thinking about.
raise him, but yeah,
Well,
that's
they
not. I mean,
don't
like most
really
babies,
want
like
that
have
choice.
the like once you like uh, excuse me, like have you gotten the knowledge like you know what I'm saying? I've heard like that that matters. There's a connection. We hear what our mom is saying, what she's eating, speaking, like
Oh yeah.
yeah, like everything like she's doing, like. But now, so you're telling me that that baby's experience is a mom that's like half gone.
No, she's dead. They're basically forced, like she's brain dead. Like so she's like
She's even brain dead.
she
Oh
had blood
my
clots in her.
god! So they're just pumping air into the body to keep.
Mhm.
Oh my
Mhm.
god!
To keep the heart
No.
keep the heart going and keep the baby, and then they're pumping fluid. You're like they're keep yeah.
Right. So like
What's the
that's even that's
what's the
different.
handmaid tale, right? Is about making women just really making them just reproductive beings, right? Women have no say, they have no value,
Oh my
they're
gosh.
worth nothing. They're just baby makers. We're here to have them reproduce. And if you watch The Handmaid's Tale, read the book, then you know that that's an imagined future in which the United States heads
Nah,
to.
that's extreme. I didn't know it went. I didn't know Handmaids was going like that.
But this is, and
That's
so not to,
crazy.
you want a conspiracy theory about Tory Lanez and Diddy all day when we
Nah,
have shit
fuck
like
that.
this, right? Like this is the stuff that men really should be concerned about because this affects their direct family members, the women they love around them, if they love any women, but or the women any care about, that they care about a lot. This really will begin to put things into perspective. But not only that, again, imagine the husband or the partner to this baby. You
But
know,
I gotta say though, like, yeah, the decision would have. I don't know if I would have. I don't know. That's tough, bro. I gotta be honest. Like, that's tough. I don't know if I would have even wanted to change the decision. I hear them. It should have been their decision. Wait. So like, oh man,
so it's bad. There's a news clip
that's
here on
tough.
NBC News. It's about a minute long. I could play that for some context.
Yeah, I mean, as a father, I would think like, damn, if now that my partner's gone, I want our baby. You know.
Year-old daughter Adriana Smith was pregnant with her second child when something started to go terribly wrong.
They did a CT scan and she had blood clots all in her head.
Speaking to NBC affiliate WXIA, Newkirk says soon after that, Adriana was declared brain dead by Emory doctors. That was back in February, but she's still in the hospital, Newkirk says, on life support. The doctors haven't withdrawn, because that would mean the unborn fetus Adriana still carries would also die, a potential violation of Georgia's strict abortion law.
It's torture for me. I come here and I see my daughter breathing on a ventilator, but she's not there.
The law bans most abortions after roughly 6 weeks of pregnancy, with narrow exceptions. Emory says it doesn't comment on patient cases, but the hospital uses, quote, individualized treatment recommendations in compliance with Georgia's abortion laws. It's all raising fresh questions about the reach of the law. Republican State Senator Marty Harbin says he still supports it.
We have already determined that she does not have life, but yet the baby does have life.
The current plan, Newkirk says, is to keep Adriana alive until doctors can deliver the baby safely via C-section. For now, her mother waits.
I'm not saying that we would have chose to terminate her pregnancy. What I'm saying is we should have had a choice.
Laura.
Right. That's exactly it. Yo, wow, what a powerful story, man. God bless them. Like, love to that family. Like, oof.
It's terrible, man. I can't imagine having to, just consider this and makes these decisions, So, I do think this is one of the things that, if anything, we should be, again, concerning ourselves with, man. I think that's why it pisses me off sometimes, where people go so hard and they love to, like, make the other person, oh, you're wrong about this. You open your eye, man. You don't see what they doing to Diddy. Like, you go so hard to, like, tell me about how there's some conspiracy about Diddy, whereas, like, there's look at the shit. Look at this, man. Look at this. Like, this is talk to me about this. Please be more involved and be more well known about this, and tell me what's the conspiracy behind this. Instead of whatever's happening with Diddy, that's not gonna really do anything for us. The regular folks. So, I definitely want to bring attention to this because I think it's challenging. I know I've been keeping once I heard about this case about 2 days ago, already I was like, what the F is this? Hold on, why is this not getting more national attention? This is because, again, this can happen a lot more. Her case, we could start hearing about this more and more often. If this becomes okayed, then, what's to not stop? Let's say, what's to not stop? What if somebody wants to get a woman pregnant but doesn't want to deal with her, so they find a way to kill her off, make their brain dead, but they just want to keep the kid, knowing that, like, if I just take you to the hospital, they'll keep you alive for me, so all I have to do is just kill you. You know what I mean? And, like, but they'll keep you alive because now technically you have our baby. Like, it just opens up the door for, like, so many bad things to happen. If this becomes a thing. So I do think folks need to pay more attention to this. Also raise their voices if they are not for this. If they don't, anyone who, if this story makes you sick to your stomach, I would ask you to reconsider your position on abortions and whether they should be banned. If you're ethically wouldn't get an abortion yourself, and that's fine. But the question is, should you take that right away from somebody else if they're okay with it? And I don't think that's our call. If someone, that's what they want to choose, they should be allowed to. And in this case, if the family would have had a choice, when the fetus was just like 9 weeks, then, they're going to wait till the baby is a fully formed, at least human being, to then make it a guilt-tripping thing, to not be like, oh, so y'all want to kill this baby now? I don't know, man. It's disappointing. It's one of the disappointing stories to hear out of 2025, in addition to some of the craziness that we've already highlighted, man. But it's concerning stuff, man. Concerning stuff.
Nah, that's fucked up, man.
So.
But, man. I just, speechless. Because I pull.
Yeah, no, I listen.
Poor woman, Adriana, Adriana.
Yeah, Adriana Smith.
That poor woman, that she had already another child. And it was like, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it was a whole family.
Yeah, she's leaving behind
just
a 5-year-old.
that was it,
Yeah.
But it does make me question to myself of, like, because, mind, body, spirit, like, I asked myself, like, if I was, like, a family member, like, but you don't even have to be family, but, like, if I'm praying or wondering, like, the best outcome, like, what I ask myself is Adriana's spirit still in there, Like, it would test my faith, because I would think to myself, like, I've seen scientifically the way that, like, even I could, like, I experience trauma and what happens to my mind, but how my spirit tries to, be aware of that and counteract that. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel an awareness that there could be a difference there, right? I don't know everything, but in this case, to have faith, I would be asking myself, like, best case scenario, you know, that would be what I'm hoping, you know what I mean? Would be will on God, like, to prove me wrong. You know, so prove that that's not prove me wrong, please, no. So
Mm.
it's a good thing I'm hoping for. So God prove it right.
Yeah.
That, her spirit is alive and there and well, and I'm saying brain dead don't mean dead, and oh God, that this is happening because we don't all get that blessing to even be. um she could have not found out and just died and passed away, what I'm saying, on the in a different scenario behind the wheel, on her way to
Mm.
work, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So it's a tough stretch, man. You know what I'm saying? All I'm trying to do here is put myself in the shoes of like trying to find positive things of like, damn, like it's tough.
Yeah.
Love to that
Well,
baby.
yeah.
Love to
Well,
that baby.
with whatever happens, as I've said, we'll keep track. I'll keep track of this. Have some updates, hopefully.
On the topic of abortion, I do think
For
people
the
should just
folks.
have the choice, right? Yeah. Why was that? Why should that change?
Yeah. Well, it's already been banned in many places, so we shall see. We shall see. Um, but with that said, Rob, I do have to go, man. I want to get some food, and I'm trying not to go to sleep too late. Because I've been under the weather, so hopefully tomorrow I wake up a bit better. Um,
Yeah, no love to that, man.
Tomorrow,
Hope you feel better
man.
too, brother.
Yeah, man. So let me see if I could before I go try to put you
Oh,
on
he's
real
gonna play
quick.
some of this track,
Uh,
jazz man.
yeah, man. So these two guys are gonna be. Well, I know you heard that. That was crazy. Um, these two guys are gonna be um, at this summer stage. Actually, I just saw the flyer. But what the hell was I gonna put it? Yeah, let me see if I could put it. So how can I show it? All right, because I don't want to get super flagged because these guys are amazing. So hopefully he doesn't flag me too bad. But check this out, man. And this is from one of their videos. Um,
We gotta say that we got no rights to this.
yeah, we don't. We don't. We do not copyright. Just want to show the people and Rob how cool this is.
Yeah.
And see, he has 2.5 million subscribers. Yeah. See, he loops that, and then he gets on something else. You know, my boy, and my boy get on the drums. You playing that bass line right there.
That was tough.
Come on, man. These guys are just amazing.
Damn, look at the setup though. That shit is
These
fire.
guys are amazing, man. So they're both gonna be at Central Park on the 31st. I don't know if they're gonna perform together, or separately.
31st?
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna
May?
perform together.
My mom's
July.
birthday. Oh,
Yeah,
July.
yeah, still some time. Still some time. Right now he's performing in Asia, Yusuf Day. So he's doing like a tour out there, and then he's gonna come out to the States, I'm assuming, over the summer. So that's something I'm just hopefully get to do over the summer, man. Check this out. So I'm pulling up to that, man, even if Dolly, because again I've been stuck under YouTube just playing his videos so far, and we had our jam sessions, so I think it's just fun to do that kind of like
That's exactly what it
thing.
reminded me of, but just like more like,
More
just a little
professional,
bit
yeah,
more thousands,
yeah,
couple
yeah,
thousands behind it.
yeah. And time, it's fire. So check that out, man. You fuck with it.
That
FKJ has,
drum set is
yeah,
beautiful.
FKJ has some cool video, man. He has like a video of himself in like a the salt
A salt
waters,
bath.
yeah, salt
Salt.
water, yeah, it looks pretty cool, man. Let me see. Actually, the video's right there. Look, Oh no, it's not there. I thought it was there. But he has. It's a pretty fire video. He's like in the middle of what looks like an ocean, but it's not. So yeah, check that out. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to. And then on a good note, for today, let me get the ad caps again.
Yeah, thank you for that because I thought you was dead gonna leave me in that other story.
Nah.
Get your food,
Yeah, I know I ended with that.
How you gonna eat after that?
Our last story was a little crazy, but I'm gonna go listen to some more Yusuf Days. This is one of my favorite ones. A little bit more just to end the night. And yeah, man.
Background. Just drive up to a spot and be like, yeah, right here, right? We should stop. Yeah, we all agree. All right, yeah, let's go. Let's park up right here.
Dude, this is a fire video. I don't know why this doesn't have more views. Oh, it has 5.3.
Got their instruments in their car and they driving by the coast.
Yeah, up there in Malibu.
Where is that?
Malibu. And then they do it in Tokyo. Tokyo's fire too. You see Mount Fuji in the background. But yeah, that's Yusuf, man. But for us, we're the Manuscript bands, the 80th Productions. You already know, man. Rob, thank you for tuning in again.
Thank you, Mr. Hegan.
Peace, y'all. Till next Monday.
Yusuf.
Okay.